Chains rattle broken, now we rise. Flag in my hand, stars burn the skies. Truth ain't dead, though the liars try. They scream loud, but the words all die. Guys watching hands, praise to the throne. Freedom ain't free, blood built this home. Continue freedom, keep it alive. Red, white, blue, we bleed to survive. Continue freedom, keep it alive. Land of the free, ain't bending the knee. Truth in my veins, it's all I see. Patriots roar, no fear in the fight. Continue freedom, stand in the light.
All right, we are live. Thank you guys so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. So, as you saw from the thumbnail, the trolls, I'm going to talk specifically about Milo Yiannopoulos. If you guys don't know who Milo Yiannopoulos is, he's been a very controversial figure for a long time, but he was on the Tim Pool podcast, and he had some horribly disparaging things to say about Charlie Kirk and Benny Johnson, interestingly enough. And I say horribly disparaging. People can live the lifestyle that they want to live. That's perfectly fine. Do your thing. However, when you start going after people that can no longer defend themselves, I find that despicable. And the reason I'm bringing all this up is because the Candace Owens trolls, which we're going to highlight a couple of them, I think are worse than Candace Owens herself sometimes. And they're doing it because they jump on top of the band. They jump on the bandwagon. They're following her. It's all for clicks. It's all for money. We've talked about that ad nauseum. But before we get into it, I found a meme that I think is pretty fitting for what it's like in 2025. Here's we're gearing up for the next year, going into the midterms and all that good stuff. This is what my brain feels like. Anybody else, hit me up in the comments and let me know. This is what my brain feels like, trying to process everything that's going on in this crazy world. And we're going to get to the Candace stuff in a minute, but I have to bring up, because it kind of, I guess, dovetails off of the Milo Yiannopoulos thing because it was on Tim Pool's podcast. Tim Pool was attacked recently. I don't know if you guys know that or not. I would say, I don't want to say I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. I like Tim Pool. I think Tim Pool he's got a great show. Obviously, it's very successful, but he was just recently, this is in the past, I think 24 hours, in the past 24 hours. Last night, a vehicle approached our property and opened fire. Somebody opened fire on Tim Pool's facility, and he's got evidently a large facility in West Virginia. He says, no one was hurt. Our security team is reviewing the incident and will be relaying the report to appropriate law enforcement. This is the price we pay for speaking out against evil. This is going to continue, right? And the response to it is interesting. This isn't just, a response. This is I would say, sums up the response, and people are essentially calling out Tim Pool. I don't even want to say calling him out. People are criticizing him. The guy who was attacked. Political violence has no place in these conversations. We get emotional about our conversations. We get emotional about politics. We get emotional about the culture, but violence has zero place in this. And yet people will excuse it, or they'll use it as an opportunity for, whatever. We could talk about Candace Owens. She's took one of the most prominent acts of violence. Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump twice, two attempts on Donald Trump, and then one unfortunate successful, assassination on Charlie Kirk. And people try to monopolize it. But in this instance, they said Tim Pool says someone stormed onto his property last night and opened fire, and many are predicting he'll blame Candace Owens for the incident. How about this? How about we be adults? And people like this, whoever the general is, I don't know who this person is, him and the 30,000 people that saw this post and the hundreds of thousands and millions that have seen the other posts, how about we say there's no room for political violence? Let's be adults and use the Socratic method. Let's sit here and talk about our ideas, talk about the ways that we're different. But instead, it feeds into what I was talking about yesterday, which is the political movements that are pitting us one versus the other. That's what's happening in America today, and it's wow. It's sad. And oddly enough, there's been very little coverage of this. People, of all places, People was the one that covered. Yeah, I see that. Now, just for those of you that are new here, by the way, before I get into this next point, if you're new and you enjoy the content, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell. That way you're notified every time a new video is released. But I say, R. Jules, you made a comment. I used to like Milo too. He's too much. Milo was edgy, and normally I don't get to the comments this early, but I'm going to because you're the first one. You're the first one in the hopper. So thanks, R. Jules. I appreciate you. I'll get to the comments towards the end. We'll spend a whole boatload of time. I'll go through as many of them as I possibly can. But yes, you're right. Milo is too much, and we're going to talk about Milo because he said some horrific things. Horrific things. So God bless you, Jules. I appreciate you. But no, what I was going to say was People Magazine is the one that picked up this story, and maybe it's because Tim Pool hasn't provided a lot of context to it, hasn't provided a ton of detail. Interestingly enough, when you look at this photo, I don't know why everybody's using the photo of him when he was like 16 years old or 18 years old, or however old he was then. But this was December 5th is when this happened, and they say that he says, they all say that Tim Pool said his home was subject to a late-night gunfire attack. Our security team is reviewing the incident, blah, 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 blah. We talked about that. And of course, they call him a right-wing commentator. They say right-wing political commentator Tim Pool said that his home was involved in a late-night gunfire attack. In an X post on Saturday, Pool wrote, "Last night a vehicle approached our property and opened fire." Why would Tim Pool be lying about that? He's not. So they say that, he said this happened. This is how they do it, right? It's, Tim Pool says. Then somebody came up and do it. It might just be a big old sham, right? But let's turn over here and listen to Candace Owens. Anyway, the coverage has been minimal, presumably because Tim Pool hasn't gone into any great detail. However, this guy, he's married now. God bless him. He's married. He's got a daughter. He's got he has a kid in the house. He has a wife. And none of what we talk about online, none of this is worthy of violence. When we're talking about left, because we're all Americans at the end of the day. We are all Americans, and violence has no place in it. We can sit here, and I go hardcore. I go hard against the people that I disagree with. I go very hard against the left. But never, ever, ever should this be leading to violence. And yet some people will just say, well, that's just the breaks. It's a dangerous world. Being involved in the political sphere has become a dangerous thing. Just ask, the Kirk family is dealing with it right now. Erica Kirk is still dealing with it. But some people forget that, and this is where we get to the Milos of the world. I'm going to play this clip. This is from Tim Pool's podcast. He had Milo on and George Santos, which was interesting. And George Santos, in an odd turn of events, was the, I guess you would say, the somber head or the sober head in the room, calling out Milo for his nonsense. Check this out. Listen to this.
One of the most distinctive things about the right wing in this country is its homosexual overtones. Benny Johnson posts pictures of his children every 2 days. It's weird. And everybody knows what went on with Benny Johnson in those lobbies and in those hotel rooms at SAS. Everybody knows.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Men, younger men, not underage. At least I don't know that. His wife was crying drunk in the lobby 3 SASs in a row about how her husband was upstairs with boys.
Come on.
Go ask her.
Come on.
Go ask her.
Come on, Milo.
Go ask her.
Milo, aren't you ever scared of getting sued? You say some crazy... I'm sitting here like I am humbled by the lore and your ability
the audacity.
there's no teapots in this room right now to express how I feel.
George, I have said these things about people for 20 years and never once in my career been sued. I've issued 3 corrections in my entire journalistic career because I get my facts right, and people know that they do not want to go through discovery.
Actually, I want to say this.
I've never been sued for anything I've ever said about anyone.
The one thing I need to say this.
Because I'm right.
The most terrifying thing about Milo.
Okay, so look, he says SAS, by the way, is the Student Action Summit. That's a TPUSA event. So what Milo is saying is that Benny Johnson, one of the leading voices in the conservative movement, and look, I say this about a lot of people on the right, on my side of the political spectrum, I don't agree with them on everything. And that's not going to be the case. We're not going to agree with everybody. I think we would all agree with that. But to come out after to say that, look, so there you go. There's my thoughts on Benny Johnson. I like Benny Johnson. I think Benny Johnson has done a lot of amazing stuff. I don't agree with Benny Johnson on everything. But this is how this kind of works. The MO for these people, for Milo and Candace and other people, is you make a claim, you get attention. In order to get attention, you dare them to do something, and if they do, so if Benny Johnson were to come out and actually take some action against Milo, then Milo is going to be there saying, "See, they're attacking me. I was right. They're attacking me," and they'll make more money than they will spend defending the case. If they go to trial, if this turns into a civil case, then they destroy in the court of public opinion. They will absolutely wreck shop on the family and the reputation of whoever it is that's in question. And Milo will make more money than he spends defending the case. This is kind of Milo 101. He's edgy. When he first started, he was, the conservative movement. They started to, what's the best way to put this? They found people that were useful to them, and it was in the early years of the conservative movement trying to build a big tent. I'm trying to be as tactful as I possibly can about this, but you kind of get the idea. Even though Milo said some outrageous things, he widened the tent quite a bit for the conservative movement. But this Milo, just like him or the Hodge twins or Tucker Carlson or Nick Fuentes or Candace Owens, you pick your poison. All these people, they were broadening the tent of the conservative movement, but now they are in a point where they are attacking the very movement that made them famous to begin with. So Milo knows that it isn't about discovery. He says, "Oh, if they don't want to go to discovery, that nobody ever takes me to discovery, because it's about dragging a family, a man with a wife and kids, through a tedious trial in an effort to boost the platform of an effeminate attention seeker." This is what this is. We all know that he went through his transformation, his change. That's fine. He says that he's left homosexuality and all that stuff because that was kind of his claim to fame. He was flamboyantly gay when he first joined we'll say the conservative movement. And he's kind of rejected that. He's done so many transformations in his political career, whatever. It's kind of wild. He's another chameleon is the way I would put it. He's another political chameleon. But it's not just Benny Johnson that he's going after. And look, I'm going to say, normally I am PG-13, and I cannot remember if this clip was bleeped or not. So if you do have kids around, have them earmuffed, because Milo does not hold back. Fine, kudos to him, do his own thing. But listen to this.
Watch her religiously. That's the queen. I'm always a couple of days behind watching on the show because I've got stuff going on. But somebody tweeted today that Candace said that she believed that they were about to get a divorce. I think he was gay, I think he was gay. And
Come on, you know that you do know that I've criticized.
What?
I'm sorry, Tim, but why would you even go there, to say something like that?
Oh, I'll tell you why.
No, the man's dead. You're calling now. You think he's gay.
That's when people can tell the truth.
I know. I disagree.
That's when people tell the truth because let me tell you why. Okay, and if you want to read in a vindictive crusade on my part for everything I've just said, you are entitled to do so, and so are the viewers. But I'll tell you what happened.
I think
Charlie did to me. Charlie was a very brilliant, very, very brilliant organizer, fundraiser, networker. Those three things, phenomenal. Probably the best in the business, maybe. Certainly one of the top 2, 3. Amazing at those things. But he was also very ruthless. He was a very ruthless person who spent a long time excising and excommunicating all of the most interesting people in politics from the right wing. He did it for a decade. Everybody knows it. Nobody said it because it's not polite in the aftermath of his death.
Charlie gave a platform.
Let me finish. He gave a platform to lily-livered, centrist, weak, frauds, faggots, and prostitutes, and drag queens. What he also did at that same time, and anybody in power, what he also did at that same time was systematically extinguish the light of anybody who could not be controlled. And I'm one of them, and I'm going to tell you what happened. When you hear rumors about sexual impropriety about me now, most people are like, yeah, probably true. There's a reason for that. Charlie. When I was at the height of my fame, the height of my popularity, Charlie made up a rumor that I was having sex with children on campuses, underage boys on college campuses, and I was selling them drugs. And he did that because there was no other way they could seize a monopoly on college campuses, because I was just so totally dominant. And they didn't have anybody in the influencer line, because at that time, Charlie was a really shitty speaker. He got a lot better towards the end. I think he got a lot better man towards the end, honestly. I think having kids really changed him, if I'm honest. But at that time, very ruthless person. And they had nobody that could go up against me.
Okay, so look, this and I watched this entire podcast, the whole thing, all 3 hours of Milo monopolizing the conversation, cutting everybody off, spouting whatever he could about Charlie and loving Candace, is swooning over Candace. And here's what I can tell you. This is what I gather from all this conversation, because I listened to this stuff on a loop. You saw the plugs at the beginning of the show, right? The overloaded socket. That's my brain. And I'm sure that's your guys' brain as well. You're seething on all this badness that is out there. But here's what I have learned. Effeminate men and a lot of women are watching Candace Owens. She caters her show towards women, but very effeminate men. And these are the ones that are kind of, I guess, getting off on her nonsense. But then you get the people like Milo. Milo clearly had a personal vendetta against Charlie Kirk, because TPUSA surpassed him on campus, because Charlie Kirk was bringing the gospel of Christ. Charlie Kirk was bringing common sense and decency, and Milo was bringing vulgarity and shock commentary to the college campuses. Both, I'm sure, have their place. But what is a long-standing message that is going to resonate with the American people, that's going to actually build a better future for our youth? Is it the shock comic, the guy talking about the vulgarities of his relationship? Or is it going to be the guy who's talking about Jesus Christ and debating major political issues? Obviously, the latter. Obviously, Charlie Kirk surpassed him, not because Charlie Kirk was some vindictive, evil guy. Look, you can live in the public sphere and people don't know everything about that individual. You can watch somebody online. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know how they respond or how they act one-on-one to people that they're close to their family, all that kind of stuff. People can put on a very glossy facade online. It's very easy to do that. Because this is a camera, guys. I could sit here and I could lie to you all day long. Obviously, that's not what I'm here to do. But you can tell, right? You can kind of pick up on the people that are the fake ones. But nonetheless, there could be things going on behind the scenes. We have seen Charlie opened up so much of his life. Does anything that Milo Yiannopoulos, is anything that he is saying here, does it resonate with you that, oh, maybe I ought to just completely nullify my opinion of Charlie Kirk and go with the one that this guy is painting for him? No, none of us can. If we followed Charlie for a fraction of the time that he was on the internet, we would know that Charlie Kirk, his motives were pure. Does that mean he was a perfect person? No. And he was one of the first ones to admit it. But Milo went so far over the edge in this podcast, I was seething. And this is, as a guy who, when the conservative movement was coming around, I was like, hey, we'll take anybody and everybody. We're all here, all that kind of stuff. It's jealousy is what this has become. Milo has become a jealous, petty person who has been shoved to the back because he pushed the limits too much. And I'm not on board with it. I think that goes without saying. So we've got Milo, the effeminate former gay guy. Live your life the way you want to. Look, I'm not here to judge that. But then we've got people like Ian Carroll, the former pizza delivery guy and an Uber driver who's turned into an internet super sleuth all of a sudden. To follow Candace Owens, let me put it this way. To follow Candace Owens and to take her with any serious credibility, if you can sit and listen to one of her, multi-hour shows, I'm sorry, but if you're a guy who's doing that, elevated levels of estrogen have to be involved, because that's kind of the common theme that I'm seeing amongst all these people. And that's ad hominem, and I shouldn't go ad hominem, but I just thought it was so disrespectful. And I thought it was interesting, though, that, and you guys will probably agree with this, that George Santos kept stepping in with this interview, because they talked about the Candace thing and Charlie Kirk and all that for 3 hours. I mean, Tim Pool, kudos to him, by the way, for doing these long-form podcasts, because they are phenomenal. He's very, very good at that. I don't know that I could survive for 3 hours. Tim Pool, if you happen to see this show, I'd love to come on. I'll come on and tough it out for 3 hours. I would love to. But look, people say this is insignificant. A lot of folks will say this is insignificant. You know, you're grasping at straws. It's not popular opinion. This is just these are the deepest corners of the internet, and in some cases they are. When I showed yesterday that poll that was on Evan Kilgore's X page, it was 95% pro Candace and 5% pro TPUSA. This one is concerning because PBD has a very moderate, or I'd say moderate, he plays to both sides. I mean, he's got people that like him on both sides of it, and people are siding with Candace. And it's not on a factual basis. It can't be, because she hasn't provided any facts around the Charlie Kirk assassination. She hasn't provided any facts about the French Foreign Legion or the bee cult or the Egyptian planes or any of that stuff. And the one opportunity she had to clear the air, she backed out. But people still want to believe her. They want to believe it so bad, the conspiracy. And I say this as a guy who has, in a lot of ways, been a conspiracy theorist to some degree. Do I believe that you're ludicrous if you think the government is telling you the truth all the time? Because they're not, and I think we all know that. None of us we're not supposed to trust the federal government all the way. However, we still have a legal system that has functioned to some level of success for the past 240 some odd years. Sorry, I didn't do the math before I came here. We've got a legal system that is currently functioning. We could not have started a trial for Tyler Robinson without evidence. There's not a cabal of judges and FBI agents and eyewitnesses and forensic scientists and all of these people, all the parts and pieces that have to go together to say, here's the evidence, let's go to trial. All that has to come together. It's not this cabal of people saying, we don't have any of this, but we're going to fabricate 100% of it. Yeah, 100% of it. We're going to put the patsy on the stand. It's a committee, people sitting around in a dark room, smoking cigars, pipes, hazy air and dramatic lighting and all that stuff, talking about, no, this is a legal process. We have to let it play out. If it comes to the end and there's anomalies and other things that are divulged, fine, let's dig into that. And I'm also not saying, ask questions. Let's know more about Tyler Robinson. That's fine. But at the end of the day, there is a process that has to be followed. And the Candace Owens sycophants don't want to follow it. They are more interested in being like, where is it? Where's the guy? I pulled him up. Oh, man, hang on. I've got it. This guy right here. Here you go. These are the people. I found this dude. 200,000 followers on X. All he talks about, he's a Charlie Kirk investigator, is what he calls himself. This is what we're getting. These are the super sleuths. These are the ones that Candace Owens is drooling over, saying, yes, you are my internet sleuth. You are my investigator. This is the CIA, as she calls it, the Candace Intelligence Agency. I'm not 100% certain this guy has seen the light of day in the past month, but I'm sure he's making some dough off of X. We got it. It's the common sense. It's the lack of common sense that is driving me absolutely bonkers. I don't know. If you guys are new here, well, we got quite a few folks on, and I appreciate it, guys. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell. That way you're notified every time a new video is released. I would truly, truly appreciate it. So I'm going to play this next one. Let's see. Well, let me go. I might do this out. I might do this slightly out of order. So we talked about in yesterday's episode, I talked about obviously the TPUSA offer for Candace to show up, have not a debate. It was going to be a discussion. We're going to air all the grievances, all that good stuff. What was Candace's, what's the latest excuse that we have seen from Candace? Listen to this. This is very interesting because it will show you the manipulation of the internet. The internet's out here to sound like Candace. I don't know, it's the manipulation. Just listen to this, then we'll talk about it.
You want the internet to be able to attend, right? That's the whole purpose and function of live streaming an event, is that it invites everybody to be able to attend. So when you extend an invitation of live streaming and you don't explicitly say it must be in person, why would I assume that you're going to rescind the offer if I say that I can appear via live stream? Okay. They never said that when they made the offer and they were pretending that they were being sincere. They never made in person a point of their demands. They never also said that I had to respond within 24 hours. That's a hostage situation, okay? There's no way that I could have accommodated all of that. In a million years, 24 hours to respond. How about, let me see if I can make that work. Even if I could have made it work, which I couldn't have, because my husband instantly said, no, you cannot do this Monday. And he runs the household, and he has an important thing going on that day, which involves people that are coming in from overseas. But even if I could have made that work, I would not have within 24 hours have confirmed to them if they had even sent me an email. Because I have kids, I would have had organize things, and it would have just taken longer than 24 hours, and they knew that. It is not my inclination to go to Phoenix without having my team with me. And my husband is very much a part of my team. But I will say that I will raise it further with the Supreme Court of George Farmer. If you are insinuating, and actually if you can confirm that you are saying that you will allow me, as you said further in this, to bring whatever it is, because it would be more authentic if it was face-to-face. If you're saying that I don't have to deal with you, and this is actually going to be very open, and I can ask every question under the sun, I might beg, I might beg.
Look, the underlying theme of this, I think that the person who tweeted this got it right. And I think that this it was Colin Rugg. So he says, Candace Owens says her husband wouldn't let her travel to Phoenix for the show with TPUSA, says he runs the household. So this is her putting it off onto her husband, which is interesting that now she's the trad wife. Okay, kudos, be a trad wife. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Be a trad wife. But here's the thing, it's my husband's birthday, by the way, that she said. This was in her original excuse, her birthday. So her husband's birthday allegedly now is on December 15th. Okay, that is very close. Except that the internet used to say his birthday was July 4th because Candace did. She said, this is back in July. So here you go. Back in July, this good,
Guys, happy Monday. I hope you enjoyed the holiday weekend. I certainly did. We baptized baby Roman. It was my husband's birthday, and it was America's birthday. So it was just a good weekend of family fun.
Excellent. So July 4th is actually his birthday. When it comes down to having a debate, apparently December 15th is his birthday. Odd. Very odd. George Farmer, I would like confirmation on when your birthday is. How about that? Just to keep the debate going, to keep it strong. How about you tell us when your birthday actually is? Because we've got two answers. The internet says we have two answers. Good grief. It's so weird. It's so weird. And look, you guys know, if you've watched me, I'm not a Fuentes follower. By any stretch of the, I'm not a groiper. I don't like Nick Fuentes. I think Nick Fuentes is fake. I think he's an op of some sort. We're not going to get into that tonight. But he's now under attack because he's calling out Candace. So this is the confusing political environment that we're in. We had people who were we had MAGA. We started with MAGA, and then now we've got the Candace folks, and we've got the Tucker folks, and we've got the Fuentes folks, and we've went bifurcated, trifurcated, is quadricated. I don't know if that's the term or not. I don't think it is, but we've been split into so many pieces now, and Nick Fuentes was on the most radical side of all of this, yet he has started to try to make his way back to mainstream. And if Nick Fuentes, with his ideas, comes back to mainstream, he's your traditional lefty, is really what it is, because he's for, he's said this recently. We got to do away with the free market. We've got to, do something with healthcare. We've got socialized medicine. We've got to do something about education, free education. So he's picked up on a lot of those talking points because he is of the younger generation that has been indoctrinated into thinking that is the way forward for America. That's what we've got to fight in the court of public opinion. We got to explain to people why we can't, but we're not. This isn't a conversation about Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes, he calls out Ian Carroll in particular and asks, where's the evidence for his absurd Israel conspiracy theories? And he's also done the same with Candace Owens. He's come out and saying, Candace Owens is saying all this nonsense. Like, this is ridiculous. Where's the evidence? Show me the evidence. Show me the evidence. And what's happened? They're turning on Nick Fuentes. So veteran pattern noticers like me, whoever this Genghis Khan person is, and my peers have observed one main change with Nick Fuentes. Charlie Kirk's false flag changed him. The savage who used to call out political assassinations has transformed into people die all the time guy. What brought, was he bought or was he activated? I'm laughing because people turn on each other on our side, on the right, like that. Here's what we have to be turning on. We have to be turning on people, I won't say turning on. We have to be convincing people who have been part of this bifurcation, trifurcation, whatever, for the past 6 months, convincing them that we've got to start going back towards a common goal. What's the end state? You can ask a Nick Fuentes, you can ask if you ask Nick Fuentes, like I said before, it's going to be lefty stuff. It's going to be free education. It's going to be socialism. It's going to be yay Stalin, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to ask Nick Fuentes. That's what it is. If you ask Candace Owens, she has no idea. She's just riding this gravy train for as long as she possibly can until it all comes tumbling down, which is what I think is going to happen. People ask Tucker Carlson, and he gives obscure answers that don't really answer the question. He doesn't have an end state. He's just there to tell you all the ways that America is bad and that Qatar is good and Sharia law is good and so on and so forth. None of these people that are I guess you would say, occupying the zeitgeist or trying to guide it in their particular direction, the only conclusion is content for clicks. Because there is no end state. There's no end state with any of these people. Donald Trump at least says, for his faults, we have to call, and I've done it. You guys, I'm sure, do it online. You call out Donald Trump when things aren't right. You say, I don't like that. I don't like the way the Epstein thing has been handled. Fine. Is that worth breaking up the entire movement? No, not yet. You can say, here's a pro of Donald Trump. We shut down the southern border. Excellent. We've at least temporarily stopped the flow of millions of people into our country that we are all paying for. That's a step in the right direction. I criticized him for the tariffs wrongly because the tariffs have actually worked out pretty well so far. Now he's saying that we're making record tariffs, and Scott Bessent is saying the same thing. Hey, we're making record money. Let's start thinking about giving some rebates back to the American people. Is that a good thing? Yes. We can unify around that stuff. But people essentially said, Ian Carroll in particular, Candace Owens in particular, Milo Yiannopoulos in particular are saying, the Epstein files in the past 11 months since he took office, give him the buffer to get started. Well, shouldn't say 11 months. It's been 11 months. They started attacking him 6 months in. It hasn't gone the way I wanted to. We're going to burn the whole thing to the ground. And just like I played yesterday, Candace says, I don't care about your midterms. I don't care about your silly midterms. What does she care about midterms? Nothing. She doesn't care. And as I said yesterday, here we go. This is what's happening. This is Donald Trump in 18 to 29. And all these people are folks that built their platforms on the 18 to 29 demographic. And this is what's happened. In February, Donald Trump was up 10 points. Now he's down 46 points. Elections have consequences. Following stupid people has consequences. And in this instance, a lot of Americans are following stupid people because they were previously credible. Candace used to be fairly credible, like relatively credible. She was a Spitfire, and she was, she was friends with Charlie Kirk. She was doing the TPUSA thing. She was, snapping back to at people at colleges. Is that the right way to say it? I'm not a millennial. Sorry, I'm 45 years old. But that she was gutsy, and all that good stuff. So we had the young crowd. She captured the young crowd, and now she's taking that young crowd and turning it on the guy that she hates, a guy that she never, I don't think, actually supported, ever. We're going to pay the price for this, guys. Like, we honestly are. And the way we have to approach this, I do it. I'm guilty of it. I'll be honest. If you guys follow my X account, please go and follow my X account. I get snippy. I do, because I get angry and I get frustrated. I read this stuff all the time. You guys do the same. I know. You get snippy and you just want to be a smart aleck to everybody out there who's posting the silly stuff that Candace is posting. So I get snippy too. But that's not going to help. What I'm hoping to do long term with this show is to get people on that I don't agree with. That's what I want. And I've had people on that I disagree with, but I can disagree with someone respectfully. I've had conversations with people who I disagree with. But there's some states, by the way, I'm gonna highlight this one. And this is in Missouri, actually. Interesting. Very interesting. Missouri, who's 40% of Indiana. 40% of Indiana voters voted for Kamala Harris. This is Micah. I don't know who Micah is. Don't really care who Micah is. Micah, you go live your life. Have a happy and a healthy. But he says 40% of Indiana voters voted for Kamala Harris. Under this new map, they will get zero representation. The Republican Party hates democracy. No, we just don't like Democrats. We're not a huge fan of Democrats. And this is what's happened. The left does it. The left does it in places like Texas and other states. So Indiana does it, and it goes from the left, which is before, and the right, that's after. The states, this is why we talk about it, guys. If you watch this show, I say that local elections are incredibly important. Because these local elections, these individuals wield a massive amount of power. Even in a small town of mine, I'm in a tiny town in Tennessee. I say tiny. It's not a big city. It's a small city in Tennessee. They wield an enormous amount of power. States wield an enormous amount of power. They love to, back in COVID, you guys remember, slow the spread? We got 7 weeks to slow the spread, or whatever it was, 14 weeks to slow the spread. They gave us a different number every week. Here you go. 2026. This is the year to slow the spread. Let's start getting in some of these states that are run by Republicans. Let's start redrawing some maps, maybe. And look, you are more than welcome. Absolutely more than welcome to go move to New York. It's blue everywhere. Come on. The Democrats have their states that they control. How about we lock it in? Because, like I showed yesterday, if you're new to the show and you weren't here yesterday for the live stream, this is Tennessee. This was the special election in Tennessee. It's actually quite terrifying. Tennessee's deep red. Nashville is not, but the lady, Afton Bean, who went into Nashville openly, clips everywhere across the internet. You wanted clips about Afton Bean, you could find her saying, I hate Nashville, I hate East Tennessee, I hate everything about it, I don't like country music, I don't like The Bachelorette or The Bachelor, whatever it was, I don't even know. And she said, I hated all of it, and yet she still won with 77% of the vote in the very area that she hated. She hated the people there. She doesn't like them. And Van Epps only wins by 9 points in a place that Trump won by 22. These are the tremors, just like the Bible talks about in the end times. You get the tremors, you know, you've got the wars and rumors of wars and all these things. You get tremors, you get little notifications like the buzz on your cell phone when you got a message, right? These resonate throughout the country, and this is one of them. These are a couple of them. People are terrified of it, but we're seeing it right here in Tennessee, staunch red territory. Trump lost 11 points. Well, more than 11 points. 13. What would that be? 13 points. Trump loses 13 points in an area that he carried. This is why the midterms do matter, regardless of what Candace Owens is going to tell you. The midterms matter. Golly, the next election matters. 2028 matters. And we can't be squabbling amongst ourselves because of silly people like Candace Owens. And that's what I always tell folks. Whoever you're listening to, are they hurting or are they helping? Are you trying to say, this person's not to be trusted? How about we come back over here, get out of crazy town, and let's talk about what we need to do to move this country forward? Because we're not talking about anything other than Epstein. If you're listening to Candace Owens, you're hearing Epstein and Charlie Kirk, and that's it. You know, there's a lot of other things going on in this world. Not that we don't need to focus on them that could be taken poorly. Those things definitely matter. But we have to walk and chew gum at the same time. And I also find it interesting, and this is the before I get to comments, which I'm going to get to here in just a moment, because I've already gone 10 minutes beyond what I normally do before I get to comments. What I will say is the people that they pitched to us as the new voices, the ones that were going to change Congress, that were going to change the House, that were really there for the people. Matt Gaetz, what happened? He left. Marjorie Taylor Greene, what happened? She left. Who was the other one I was thinking of? Oh, well, George Santos was one. A lot of people thought he was going to be one of those. Interestingly enough, he goes to jail. And what did they all do? They all rode the coattails of Donald Trump. What did they all do? Oh, Lauren Boebert was the other one. What did they all do? They turned on Donald Trump. As soon as they got to a point where they could leave, they could cash in on their social media money, they left. There you go. All right, let's get to comments because we have got, a lot of comments. I'm going to try to get to all of them, guys. Yeah, okay. Benny can be clickbaity. He can. I will give him credit for his thumbnails. His thumbnails are off the chain. There you go. That's my thought on Benny. His thumbnails are legit. And I do, look, the guy's, this is the thing. People being a net positive for our movement. That's what I care the most about. Are you a net positive? Because we're going to have disagreements. But when you're a bold-faced liar, as Candace Owens has been, that's a different story. Let's see. That's some aggressive comments in there. Let's see. All these people do is manipulate their audiences. That's it. See, here's the thing. This is the I think the crux of all of this. Present people. Look, you're going to get opinion from me, guys. Like you are. I'm sorry. You're going to get opinion from me. But anything that I put on this show, I implore all of you to go and research it more if you want to. Be an internet sleuth, but be one that follows it 2 or 3 levels deeper. I've followed it 2 or 3 levels deep, and then I present my opinion based on that. But go and verify me. I'm perfectly happy with people doing that. You know? And they just we consume so much, and there's so many people out there that are just trying to lie to us and deceive us. And obviously more harm than good. Ooh. Let's see. The Hodge twins share one singular brain. That's pretty funny. Dismissed the Macron case September 11th. So when you say Candy says the same thing, yet she has filed 3 times to dismiss the Macron case. That's it. You know, she was like, bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. And they're like, no, nope. Good job, Yuck. Yeah, it's a good point. Milo is disrespectful and disgusting. Yeah, I think I would probably agree with that. You know, and like I say, he had some novel appeal when he first came into the, started joining our side of the movement or became vocal. He was always vulgar, though. You know, the vulgarity, sometimes it is entertaining. Look, not everybody's going to, some people want that. That's perfectly fine. That's up to you. But I really try to stay away from it as much as I can. Unsuccessfully sometimes, but you know how it is. I try really hard. Yeah. So this is Candace trying to destroy the idea that Charlie was a happily married man after he is dead. Shows how jealous she is of Erica. I pity her husband. Yeah, and this is a point that a lot of folks have. Oh, there's a super chat. Oh my goodness, I forgot this one. The real KC. I'm sorry, real KC. I try to get to the super chats first. Thank you for that. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to do better. I promise. Casey. Candy needs to eat her spiritual Wheaties. TPUSA will expose her on the 15th and even more in the trial. God is on TPUSA's side. Yeah, that is beautifully put. That's beautifully put. She needs to eat her spiritual Wheaties. Boy, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, I do. And I agree as well. God is on TPUSA's side. Look, we've watched Charlie Kirk, guys. You know, we know who he was as a person. Does that again? He admitted the same thing. Was he perfect? No, but none of us are. Good gracious. So let's see. Laura Loomer called. Did she call Milo out? Oh, I don't know about that. Glad you're doing this. Thank you, Sophia. I appreciate you. I appreciate you very much. I enjoy this. Like, guys, I really do love doing this. You know, it's enjoyable. Let's see. Milo has not divorced. Oh, I didn't know that. Didn't know that either. Let's see. Golly, so many comments to get through. Oh my goodness. So this is I'm going to put this one up here because this is, let's see. Eli. We'll just call you Eli. I don't know how to pronounce all that. But anyway, Charlie was a construct like JD Vance and Erica. So this is playing into the whole, hey, everything is orchestrated. I'm going to assume who you think it's orchestrated by. There you go. Let's see. Yuck 2.0. Candy's top comments. Let's see. I remember Milo saying that he was, man, is grateful. Oh, there you go. Cindy Lou. Okay. I remember him saying this. Yeah. And I feel for somebody who goes through, I mean, I remember him talking about that. I couldn't imagine somebody going through that. But, obviously it's had a profound effect on him, not in a good way. Let's see. Whoa, Tracy, I didn't know. Wow. Does Ian live in Nashville? I might have missed that part of the conversation. Let's see. Sorry, I'm having to skip over some of this. That poll is false. Which poll are you talking about, Heartlove? Heartlove's been watching this show for a while. I appreciate it. Which poll, which one was false? Was it the PBD one that was false? Let me know, because if I put up a false one, I admittedly didn't go back to PBD's podcast to actually see that one. But yeah, let me know down in the comments. Go Glaze. Oh, gosh. All right. We don't care that the Twitter bots are Team Crazy Candace. Have you guys seen, by the way, the Twitter bots? There's walls and walls and walls of cell phones. I could probably find a video of it. I mean, it's impressive. The number of cell phones, literally hundreds or thousands of cell phones that are just sitting there, liking, feeding data into them. It's really crazy. Nothing Canada makes forward just makes no sense. Yep, that's it. Oh, you don't have one. Real KC. Okay, so you say, I don't trust polls on X. Too many people I know don't even have an X, including me. I mean, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. I've listened to commentators saying that it could be as high as 80% bots on X, and that a lot of these individuals that are making money, they're making money off of it. Ian Carroll is, and Candace Owens is, all these people, they're making tons of money off of X. Although I don't think it pays out as high as like podcasts and other things, but they're still making money, and most of it is bots. It's like 80% bots on X. It'd be fascinating if that's the case. It really would be. I don't have an X account either. Looney Tunes thinks X. Yeah, are you talking about the Snapple? You're talking about that guy that I threw up? Let me see if I can find the picture of him. This is the guy I'm going to assume you were talking about, the basement dweller. There you go. That's the one. Yeah, he totally looked like a basement dweller. I mean, good gracious. Sunshine. Sunshine is a wonderful thing. Vitamin D. It will help you. It helps us all. It's great. Oh, my goodness. Let's see. What's the majority of people think is usually wrong? The devil rules this evil world, and he's a there you go, TF80s. What the majority of people think, well, I wouldn't say that. It depends. It depends. What's guiding those people, the majority of those people? If we're a Christian nation with Christian principles and the majority of Americans are actual Christians, then, yeah, we can all be swayed one way or another. But the latter part of that is very, very true. The devil rules this evil world, and he's a master of manipulation and deceit. That's a great point. Let's see. I have heard that Candace Owens bought her followers. There could be. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's true or not. It's an interesting thought. If she had, I don't. Where can you buy followers? And you don't want those. That's the thing. If you could sit there and people do it. I know that people buy followers. I don't know if it's on X. I know you can buy them on Instagram or whatever. They'll have the bot farms come in and follow you, so on and so forth. But that's not really what you want. You want organic. See, this is the thing. Could there be bots in the chat here? Yeah, there possibly could be. But I'm interacting with you people and you're responding. Well, that's what I want. Give me a smaller audience of engaged people who can go out into the internet and communicate with the other people on the internet, in their own world. Let me try to inform you all as much as I can. You all inform me. It's the community effect. I'm good with that. Give me a smaller audience that's engaged any day of the week. Let's see. She has been caught in so many lies, like she's live streamer shows. I love the comments. I love the comment time. This is my favorite. She's all big and bold, and she said anytime, anywhere. Yep, there you go. All bark, no bite. I love this. Yuck 2.0. Maybe TPUSA should move the event to Dollywood since it is clearly secured. Oh, that is great. Oh, that's so great. Yeah, Dollywood. Or wherever that event in Qatar, or the Qatari event was. That was obviously secured. Oh, what a wonderful comment. When I close this video out, I want you to go back into if you would do me the favor, go back into the video once in the live stream, put that comment. I'm going to pin that one. That's a good one. I like that. Let's see. People are saying her husband's birthday is on the 15th. That's why she can't go. Wow. So many comments. Thank you guys, by the way. And I'm just a refresher, if you are new here, it would be fantastic if you wouldn't mind to hit that subscribe button, like button, and the notification bell. That way you're notified every time a new video is released. Welcome to the community for everybody that's still hanging in here. Let's see. Hating on Candace. Oh, gosh. Yeah. I'm not going to put that comment up. Let's see. There you go. I have the original screenshot. This is talking about his birthday, George Farmer's birthday. The original screenshot saying that it is on July 7th. So had nothing to do with his birthday. Excuses. I just think it's it's avoiding confrontation. It's different. And I say this as a guy who does video for a living. This is what I do for a living. I do videography. And when you are, and I've helped people do remote interviews, and I've also done in-person. I do in-person podcasting with some guys on Wednesday night. We sit down and we have a podcast. It's very different when they are here versus when we do it remotely and they are off somewhere else. Massive, massive difference. Because I can get in an argument with somebody face-to-face, and it's much more personal because that podcast, that engagement's going to end, and you're going to have to sit backstage with somebody and endure the uncomfortable silence if you turn into a jackass whenever that interaction is going on, right? Meanwhile, when you are remote, you hit end and it's done. It's just a lack of personal interaction that cannot be had remotely. It's not the same. It's just not the same. And for something this consequential, I think it is incredibly important that she be in person. And she doesn't want to. It's so easy, by the way, to sit and sling mud from a distance. It really is. Let's see. All that from Candace and Tim Pool is the one that gets... That's it. That's an interesting take. Yeah. Tim Pool has been, look, he endured all the swatting that was going on. Bless his heart. That guy has been swatted so many times, but it's not just him. Other commentators have. Left-wing commentators, right-wing commentators, the whole swatting thing is just, it's abysmal. It's horrible that people are able to do it, but he's beefed up his security. It's mostly, let's be honest, guys, I think we all know this. It's mostly right-wing commentators that have to deal with the security threats. The right-wing people aren't going after the left wing. It's the left wing going after the right wing. We all know that. Let's see. I really want to confirm. For is it dementia postpartum? Oh, what is the first part of that one, Whitney? Let's see. She has dementia postpartum or woman. White kryptonite is what you're called. Okay, I thought it said Whitney. Sorry. Go drink milk. I don't know who that is. Oh, I got to find. There's all the conversations. It's like me after the fact. I'm the guy who's coming in after the fact, getting in on all the conversations. It's okay. It happens. Oh, man. Let's see. I really need an X account now. You do. KC, come on, get you an X account. Just use it in moderation, kind of like alcohol, right? Or anything else. Use X in moderation because you will get on. If you think doom scrolling is bad on YouTube or Instagram, anything like that, doom scrolling on X will put you in the loony bin. So there you go. Take a break every now and then. It's important. Let's see. Trump will fix it all in good time. Yeah, see, and this is kind of where I sit. We criticize him when he doesn't do the right thing. We praise him when he does the right thing. But we don't just say, this one thing wasn't done exactly how we wanted it to do, now we're going to turn on you. If you're that, and I mean, think of it as, not that we're friends with Donald Trump, but think of it as being a friend. If a friend does one thing that makes you mad, like really mad, do you end up a 20-year long? If my best friend, I've got a best friend, even I've been friends since we were in 5th grade. If he did something bad, I would be mad at him, but I'm not going to let it ruin our 30, 40-year friendship, whatever it's been, right? That might be a little too simplistic, but you get my idea. That this is a behemoth of a government that needs to be shrunk, needs accountability brought to it. And yes, we want to see some deep state actors that are arrested. We want to see the Epstein files. We want to see that stuff. But some other great things have been happening. Hey, another super chat. Let's see. Candy, where was it? TPUSA has every right to look at their accuser in the eye and as she accuses them. Yeah, I don't think she can handle the heat in Erica's eyes. Erica deserves. That is, bingo bango. Yes, TPUSA, they have every right to see her face to face. You want to talk smack face to face. You are 100% right, Casey. And that's what she wants to avoid. Again, it's the whole, you can sit there and spout off whatever you want to. Stu Peters or Ian Carroll or whoever can sit there and spout all the nonsense that they want to spout all day long. And they're not going to meet anybody face to face. I'm not saying anything on this show that I wouldn't say face to face to lottie-dottie everybody out there. There you go. There you go. Okay, let's get to some more. Thank you, by the way. I appreciate you, Casey, for the super chats. South Carolina. There you go. Yeah, X is the Wild West. That's it. That's it. Yeah, okay, flattening the curve is what they said. Yeah, I made the reference a little while ago that it was slowing the spread and then, flatten the curve. Boy, we got some nonsense back then, didn't we? I have to be careful about what I say. There you go. Hey, I was stationed out in Oklahoma, Ben. Ben, I was in Oklahoma for not super long. Maybe in total, maybe like a year. So I did officer basic training, OBC there at Fort Sill, and then I left and I went back to the captain's career course and went there. Oklahoma, I would sing for you guys, Oklahoma, where the wind goes rolling down the plain. Isn't that how it goes? I think that's what it is. The weather, if you get tired of the weather, just wait. I remember going out this is a quick little departure from politics, but I remember as a second lieutenant, I was at officer basic course in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, got up in the morning and it was like 60 something degrees outside. And we all of us, we were like, oh, this is nice. We left all of our cold weather gear and all that sitting in our, in our barracks rooms. By 1:00 in the afternoon, it was like 30 degrees and the wind was blowing 20 miles an hour. We were all about to freeze to death. And that was my, my experience in Oklahoma. There you go. So thank you, Ben, from Oklahoma. Welcome aboard. Let's see. Come to Tennessee. We got bad roads here, KC. You said the bad roads trophy. Oh, that's funny. Let's see. Wow. Y'all are, I'm scrolling through and I'm so sorry if I miss comments in here, like good ones. I'm trying to hit as many as I possibly can. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. She can't be available that day and time, but yet she plans to do a live stream and refute TPU. Yeah, that's what she said. She's like, I'll be there and refute you. I can't be there. It's so what is it? She says I can't know, but no. I can't be there, but I'll be there. That's probably that's a silly way to say that. I tried. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. When she was busting out in laughter when Tim Pool was tripping out about her, she was joyful when Tim was ranting. That was odd. It was very odd. I think she just liked, I think she just liked somebody talking about her. I think she enjoys that. That's an indicator. I have known people when they listen back to themselves, in an interview or whatever, that they will smile when they hear their voice. That was the indication that I got, that she heard herself and she was happy about what she heard or heard somebody talking about her. Oh, it's another super chat. Thank you. Let's see. Hippo character was our Hippo. What is that? Hippo character with stars. Okay. So my software, it doesn't show. Bummer. My software doesn't show emojis. Let's see. So let's see. Stars glowing in his eye, pumping his arms in the air with the word hype pulsating above him. Okay. So I'm so sorry about that, Charity. The software that I use to stream, it doesn't show the all the emojis. Let me see if I can find what's the hippo emoji? I don't even know that one. You might have shown me a new one. Thank you for the super chat though. I appreciate it. Let's see. Her, Jesus, I hope all's well. Last, I think she enjoyed hurting him. Let's see. Yeah, by their fruits, you will know them. I mean, there was one person in here who's not a huge fan of the Bible, which is fine. You don't have to be. You'll come around one day, I hope. But yeah, by their fruits, you'll know them. Let's see. Okay, yeah, okay, sorry. I'm like way behind. I ought to get down further on the comments. When we were talking about the poll just a little while ago, you're saying it's the PBD poll. So, okay, if that one was wrong, I will go back and verify that. I appreciate you fact checking me on that one. In fact, I'm going to scroll down and go back up. How about that? Yippers. Let's see. Any place... Boom. There you go, Ben. Man, you guys are great on the comments tonight. Goodness gracious. Boatloads of them. Oh, and I'm well over my time. If you've been following this channel, you know I try to stick to an hour. But like we used to say in the Army, we train to standard, not to time. So I'm still rolling here. Let's see. I'm going to go back up through the comments. Let me see what I can find. Love you guys having conversations back and forth amongst each other. It's great. Midwest weather, 70 and sunny one day, then snow in the next. There you go. That's what I was talking about in Oklahoma. That weather. Oh, it's gnarly. Oh, it's so gnarly. Let's see. I'm not sure if TPA USA would ever sue her. Discovery of TPA USA is going to give Candace tons of podcast material. I mean, that's a valid point too, KC. That's a valid point as well. Discovery opens up everything for everybody, and giving her access to that sort of stuff, and maybe she knows that. Maybe she knows that, hey, it doesn't matter what you say. I've got my, just like I said yesterday, Beyonce, right? Queen Bee with the beehive, all that nonsense. That, she'll just sick her people on TPUSA. She's trying to destroy them. Let's be perfectly honest about that. Let's be clear and upfront. Candace Owens is trying to destroy TPUSA. She sent out the tweet the other day. Ask for a refund from this godforsaken organization. She wants to tank it. And you can't help but think that this is I don't know that it's coordinated, but it's people that are, I think, ideologically similar in that only insofar as they hate Donald Trump and they hate the MAGA movement and they want to see it destroyed, right? That's what they want. But TPUSA is the focus of their ire, of their of their disdain, their anger, vitriol, whatever. And they want it to be destroyed. But I think that they have some vision of something else coming up in its place. So Charlie's gone because Charlie Kirk was, he was a good dude. Everybody liked Charlie Kirk. It's really hard to go after Charlie Kirk for anything bad because he was so upfront and honest with everybody, about who he was as an individual and so on and so forth. But now that he's gone, the attacks, the repetitive attacks on TPUSA are to destroy it. So what are we going to build? The AFUSA, America First USA, and we're going to put a hammer and sickle flag up with stars and stripes in the corner for Nick Fuentes, or I don't know. None of these people have a clear vision of where they want this country to go. All they know is what they don't like. They can't tell you where they want it to go. It's frustrating. Not frustrating. That's too weak of a word. It's so demoralizing and disheartening. And this is here's another piece of this. Milo, and I'm going to leave this guy up because he's up on my screen. Milo and people like this, they don't have an end game. There is no end game to what they're trying to do, right? It's all about destruction. It's about drama, and they are treating this like it is like high school kids in the latest version of political drama or of social drama, right? And consequences be damned. We're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. We're gonna wreck that person. Oh, she sucks and he sucks and he's bad and he's a turd and he's a this and he's a that. Just attack, try to shut him down. And it's all about winning. And that's what I got out of the Tim Pool podcast with Milo Yiannopoulos. He kept saying, and Candace is winning. What's she winning? What's she winning? Winning is tearing down the MAGA movement, is tearing down the successful movement that we had. Is that winning? If that's the case, we're not on the same side. Like, not even remotely on the same side. If you think being a destructive force in American politics in order to, that's not even the right way to put it. If you're out to be a vindictive beta male or a vindictive woman or a vindictive child or a vindictive young adult or a vindictive whatever, and, there's no end game, sorry, they're like, winning what? What does Milo think we're winning? None of them can tell you, by the way. I've combed the internet far and wide, and none of them can tell you what they're winning. Good gracious. If you're new here, by the way, I'll give one more notification, and then I'm going to have to cut this one off. I'm going to go hang out with my wife tonight. But be sure to hit that, and it just went away. There you go. Hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell. That way you're notified every time a new video is released. I appreciate all the new folks, that have been on tonight. This is great. And I am sorry if I missed your comments because you all have left some really, really good ones. And I try to get to all of them. I want to thank the real KC. The real KC 1987. Here you go. She has 2 super chats. She's been commenting like crazy, keeping it stirred up here in the comment section. I truly appreciate it. I also want to say thank you to, I've got a few names in here I'm going to bring up. And I'm going to offend somebody because I've got people that keep coming back, and I appreciate it. So I know Heart Love was in here. Heart Love keeps coming back. Tracy is in here. Tracy's been one of our return guests. Let's see. Oh, man. Timothy, I think, has been in here before. Yeah, Timothy's been in here before. We've got a bunch of Yuck has been in here before. We've got a lot of return guests, and I appreciate it, guys. Y'all are great. Like, y'all are awesome. You keep it stirred up in the comment section. I appreciate it. I appreciate the healthy chatter and all the great points that you're making, because it helps this podcast, or this live stream, move so smoothly. And when I get to my favorite point of these live streams, which is this, getting to your all's comments, I absolutely love it. So I appreciate it. We all want what's best for this country. You guys know that I do. I know that you do. We'll get some haters in the comment section, but that's okay. We'll turn them over to our side. And I'm sorry if I missed anybody. I really am. The chat gets busy sometimes, and I'm looking at a small little list. So anyway, guys, love you all. I love this country. I'm going to head out of here, go hang out with my wife. God bless you, and I will see you all in the next live stream. Keep it real. God bless you. Have a great Saturday night, and have an even better Sunday.